As of today, a new CDC guideline for travelers officially went into effect. The new rule requires anyone traveling into the United States from a foreign country provides proof of a negative COVID-19 test or a document demonstrating that you have recovered from COVID-19 in order to enter the country. Now, what impact could this possibly have on travel for those who feel that they need to just get away in 2021? Well, joining us now is the founder and CEO of The Points Guy, Brian Kelly. Brian, thanks so much for being with us. First off, how can Americans who are abroad identify somewhere that is safe and reliable to get a COVID test? And what are their options if they do test positive?
So that's the million-dollar question right now. Some countries are better than others in terms of available testing, but we just saw today Hyatt Hotels is now offering it as a benefit in Latin America. So we expect to see more hotels, especially in the Caribbean, that depend on this winter tourism to survive, to be able to offer it to guests. Now, if you do happen to get COVID abroad, it's up to you. Unless you get a travel insurance that will cover COVID, those policies are few and far between. But in certain places like the Bahamas, they actually make you get that insurance. So if you've never had travel insurance before, now's the time.
So do you think that traveling right now is safe? And what countries are actually even accepting U.S. travelers?
Well, interestingly, if you're going to travel, I personally feel safer traveling abroad where mask wearing is much more accepted than in many parts of the U.S. and COVID numbers are much lower in most every other country. So if you wear a mask and practice social distancing, don't go to crowds, you can travel safely. But, with these new rules and potentially getting stuck abroad, the CDC actually just came out with guidance really pushing back on any non-essential international travel.
Which airlines are still taking those COVID safety precautions, like providing testing and blocking a middle seat?
The clear winner in airlines throughout this pandemic has been Delta. They are still blocking middle seats and even in first class. Most of the major airlines are now teaming up with labs to provide testing, especially to destinations like Hawaii that have been requiring COVID tests. But it's still every traveler for themselves in a lot of different ways. Even if you get stuck abroad, your airline's not going to cover your hotel for that. It's all up to you.
And I just wanted to kind of piggyback off of a thought that you already shared, because it sounds like you are an advocate for getting that travel insurance. Is that even though many U.S. airlines have actually suspended the change fees and cancellation fees?
Yeah, the whole point of COVID insurance, it's not about the flight. Flights are pretty cheap these days. It's about 14 days of hotel in a foreign country, plus food, medical costs. It can really, really add up. So, if you're offered insurance or if there's a policy that covers any COVID-related expense, I would highly recommend looking into it.
Do they, though? Because it seems like it's like you have to have like a doctor's note, a funeral. They're like very specific explanations quite often for those traveler insurance. I mean, is COVID often included at this point?
In most policies, COVID isn't included, but now that so many people are traveling and potentially getting quarantined abroad, there are policies that will cover COVID. Like I said, in the Bahamas, they mandate it for any tourists to come just in case it happens. They don't want your problem to be the government's, cost. So more and more countries will be mandating it and providing options for travelers to purchase it before they enter the country.
They don't want your problem to become their problem. Makes sense. All right. Lastly, we'll ask you to take a look in your crystal ball and tell us, what are your big predictions for travel in 2021 and what should people be paying extra special attention to?
Yeah, travel will bounce back in 2021. We already see COVID coming down, vaccines going up. So I do foresee a large population of people who are vaccinated and feel confident traveling, even though there are still risks with COVID, traveling this summer. But the real kind of roaring 20s, big bang revenge travel will happen, I think, summer of 2022, when likely Europe will be back open again. Still TBD this summer, but I foresee a lot more camping and RV trips, just like last summer, going on in the US. The good thing is the airlines and most hotels now have flexible cancellation or rebooking. So you can book for summer 2020, and worst case, if you can't go, you can always get a voucher. Or if you use your frequent flyer miles, they'll refund them to you.
Are you traveling right now or you're home?
I just took an incredible trip to Rwanda in December. I'm staying low for a little while, but I've had some of my best trips during the pandemic, but I've practiced tons of different safety precautions and getting tested even when I come home, and I recommend everyone else do the same.
Good to know. Okay, Brian Kelly, thanks so much. As always, the Points Guy, appreciate you talking to us.
Thanks, everyone.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.